Hey everyone, good morning. It's good to see all of you on this Saturday morning. I only have one arm right now because good old Nellie is being very clingy right now. She's literally sitting on me. How's everybody doing? Can we hear me? Hey, Crime Brulee, Salem, Loki's mom, Truth and Justice, Pristine, AT, Crime Brulee. Look at Nellie. Look at her. She's just so my arm's actually holding her up right now. She's the cutest thing, but it gets to be very annoying, very clingy. It is raining. Hey, Jennifer, Leo. Oh my God, she's huge, Salem. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Catherine. I feel bad, like I want to kick her off me so I can have my arm, but you know. Good morning, Candace, Jill. Oh my gosh, I can see who my wrenches are on StreamYard now. How cool. Hey, Kels Bells. Hi, Betty. I don't know why she's being like this, Catherine. She's being very weird. Revival. Good morning, Salem. Reminds me of my pug. Hey, Breezy. My dog's clingy this morning, too. She thinks she's a lap dog. She's literally sleeping on my lap with her head on my chest, right under my chin. Oh, my goodness. Well, I think that's what it is. I think it's because of the rain and everything. Jameson, Gary. That's cool that they now, this is the first I've experienced it, Jennifer. It's cool that they now show us who our moderators are. But literally, my arm is like holding her up. I'd like to dish the cat, but I feel bad. Oh my God, she's just the cutest. My dog is asking me is it the rain? Hey, Polish. You like my bus? I put a lot of time and effort into this. I made it. It was fun. Um, there's been a lot of things going on throughout the week. And I actually, come on, go away, Nellie. She's just getting cozier and cozier. She's like pushing up on me. I don't know what this is. Hey, naughty Audie. What's the matter, Nellie? What are you doing? Oof, Lord bless it. I'd like to drink my coffee while it's hot. What the crock? Day tripper? You like it, Polish? Wait till you see the others. Hey, Colin. All right, there she goes. Ooh, all right. Go ahead, girlfriend. Ooh. Ah, all right. I am free. Let's get this started. I'd like to thank Nellie for allowing me to drink my coffee while it's hot. So a lot of things have happened this week. A lot of sad things, a lot of good things. But one really sad and creepy thing that happened was Maddie Soto. My heart is breaking. 13 years old, and the things that we found out, the things they let us know about it, oh, it just breaks my heart. I couldn't believe, Naughty Audie, let me go look at it. The poll results of how many people prefer, coffee, tea, or nothing. I was shocked. I was a little shocked by that. Let me see. So 650 votes, 64% coffee, 21 tea, 15% nothing. Neither of them. I couldn't believe it. You know what else I can't believe? The amount of people that are still just like poking and poking and poking for my attention and using things from like 2 years ago is so aggravating. It's like not only are they making things up because it's made up, but they're just desperate for what? For what? To hate bond to what? What are you doing it for? Some of these people I don't even know. I don't even pay them any mind. I just uh let me pull it up what the crock is horrible. Oh, I almost left StreamYard. Be warned. This is horrible. Absolutely broke my heart. Um oh, wrong one. I'm not pulling up the affidavit. No, I'm not pulling up the affidavit. She was found in the woods. She was found in the woods, matter of fact, where her mother says she wouldn't be found. And I'm not saying that to say anything bad against the mother, any of that. Hey, Queen Bella, True Texan, Julie's, hi. Um, so on March 1st, I can pull this up at least. Let me send this to myself. This just breaks my heart for so many reasons, because how many years did Maddie suffer? How many and you know, a lot of people are like, oh, women have to be careful, single moms have to be careful. Everybody has to be careful. You can't expect a single mother to never date under the fear of, you know, there being some creep out there. Yeah, of course there's creeps out there. But the creep could be the husband you've been married to for 50 years, you know what I mean? All right, so let's go ahead and share the screen. So, Madeline Soto, what we know about Madeline Soto. The body of the teenager was found on March 1st, hours after investigators said that they were very confident she was deceased. Following her disappearance in Kissimmee, Florida, the boyfriend of the mother is the main suspect in the case and his custody reports. She just turned 13. It could be anybody, Naughty. It could be anybody. After a desperate 4-day search, local sheriff said it was very confident she was deceased, with the grim discovery made several. So this is the part that really got to me. The sheriff explained on Friday the OCSO has video evidence showing Mr. Stern throwing items into a dumpster behind their apartment building at 7:35 a.m. Those items included the teen's backpack and her school-issued laptop. At 8:19 a.m., 8:19 a.m., they have evidence. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, they have evidence that shows Stephen returning to the complex and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. But they believe she was already deceased. Hey, Carrie. They believe she was already deceased in the car. So this whole we dropped her off to school and we saw her at the church, and that was such a grainy video. You didn't know if that was her. No, you didn't. It wasn't. Ah, Susan, telling is so scary out here. What is going on? Hold on. Sorry. We have a bug that had hit all of us. My son has been home. Stayed home from school the other day, so I didn't go live. I started feeling sick last night. I see charges coming to mom for lying to LE. I think he made a snot. Oh, Aaron, I pray not. I have it redacted. I could show. Was it shown unredacted and was removed? Let me not even bother. I'll read you little excerpts from it. Basically, he tried telling the police the day that she disappeared that he just so happened to accidentally reset his phone. An accidental reset. Nonetheless, they were able to get his phone. They found several images and videos which depicted blank, breast, vaginas, anal openings, being a focal point in the pictures. There was also videos depicting blank. It's too gruesome. I won't even say you guys got the idea of it. I don't even want to show it, say it, nothing. They don't say that the victim in those were Maddie, but the content was created within his home. Oh, it's not even a chance I want to take. I don't even need to take. I don't want to show it. I don't want to show it. You don't have to show it. Hey, Sunflower, go Bulldogs. Ronnie, Zoomer. She does contradict herself. And I don't know if that was being nervous. I don't know if that was. I don't know. Because I don't know how I would react. I don't know if I'd be sad right away. I don't know if I'd be hysterical or more calm. So I don't want to judge just right off the bat the way the mother was oddly behaving. But at the same time, she certainly said things that did not make much sense, Hey, Georgia Peach. Yeah, the bedding and patterns of undergarment. Oh, gosh. Well, unfortunately, that I agree with you, Souls, but it's just not the way it works. Dun, dun, dun. I'm on my son's computer and I turn around and he's like standing there like Michael Myers. What are you doing to me? Oh, it was disgusting. Girl, you didn't show it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not showing that. No way. Ellie found stuff as far back as 2022. I said 2022. I'm sorry. It is 2022. Oh my goodness, I'm losing my mind. He distracted me. We're not feeling too well. I do apologize in advance. Oh boy. Yeah, just like creepily, like, what are you doing? I thought he'd be sleeping a little bit longer. He could have, Breezy, for sure. For sure. But here's the thing when it comes to that, because this reminds me of Kayla. And oh my goodness, I'm having such brain. I followed it and I can't even think of the baby girl's name right now, and that's horrible. Anyway, Kayla that got the sweetheart deal, and everybody was like, oh my goodness, but he, look how creepy he is, and he's an abuser, and he's all these things. Yes, and there are so many resources today. There are so many resources. Harmony, thank you, Zoomer. I do apologize for having that brain freeze right there. That should never happen. But yes, in Harmony's case, yeah, he's a creep, and yes, he's abusive, and yes, he's all the things, but there are so many resources nowadays. There are so many outlets. There are so many ways to get help if you need help. There's just no excuse for it. So even if the mother in this case was also a victim, she still, when you are a mother, it is up to you to protect your child at all costs. I won't give her that. I will not give her that. I cannot figure out. Yeah, Gary, I wish. You're too good to me, buddy. Too good to me, Gary. Hey, small wildflowers. 3. We've had 3 horrific cases, well, 4, quite frankly, in the recent past. I don't get it. They wear a mask and walk amongst us. You know, which is another reason, Betty, it is so crucial to stop throwing around these accusations against people you just don't like on the internet. Because there is a real problem with that. And you desensitize it when every male you come across on the internet, you want to label that. Good morning, Lucia. It's just not acceptable. This is just so horrific. Oh, yes. So many you don't hear about. Like the little girl I shared on my community wall. Let me go grab that. This little girl, they believe she fell victim into a you know what ring. A you know what ring, and you're not hearing much about her. Emily Hughes from Houston area. They believe she fell victim into a you know what ring. How many of you have heard about her?
Where is Imani Hughes? Tomorrow marks 1 week since the 12-year-old disappeared from her Missouri City neighborhood.
An Amber Alert is in effect for her tonight because of strong fears she might have fallen victim to sex trafficking. Devon Roming is live at her middle school where everyone is hoping she comes home safe. Devon.
That's right, Mia and Lynn. Fort Bend ISD released a statement earlier today saying in part that they are praying for this young girl's safe return home, who should be in classes here behind me at Missouri City Middle School.
Middle schooler. Middle schooler. They believe she fell victim of a you know what ring. Middle schooler. And you know what? You're not hearing much about Imani. Not as much as you hear about Madeline. Not as much as we heard about Audrey. Not as much as, you know, and I'm not saying these kids don't deserve to be heard about. Of course, they all do. But ask yourself why. Imani was found? Copa? No, Colin, you're not blocked. I said hi to you. Hey, Roddy. Happy day, Parody Patty. Wait a minute. Copa, are you sure? Let me look this up. I pray to God you were so... Oh, my gosh. When do you say she was found? Because 2 days ago, they're still searching for her, Copa. Let me check Tracy's. Hold on. 2 days ago, it says they were still searching for her. So nothing updated in the news about it. In Columbus. Oh, I mean, it does say she was found safe. Bless. Well, it's a shame that when you search it, you don't find that. But thank goodness that Tracy came across it. Canceled after missing 12-year-old Imani Hughes was found safe in Columbus, Texas. Columbus, Texas. How did she get there? Hey, OG. Wow. Well, thank goodness for a happy ending for Imani, but you know, it's a shame that you didn't hear much about Imani. You got some so-called true crime creators. They go live, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 300 times over one missing child to do the whole speculation and insight gossiping and all that. But then you have all these teenagers like Imani here that nobody speaks about. That is fantastic news. Hey, Beachy. Believe she was deceased, sitting in his car already. Yes. Yes. What do you guys think? What do you think of Madison? Do you think the mother has upcoming charges? Do you think... here's what I want to know, and I'm not sure. I'm not asking this to be a smart ass or to say it deserves to happen. But do you believe the mother can be charged for what was going on under her roof and not, supposedly not knowing. Amber alerts like crazy last few weeks. Yeah, what is that about? They thought she fell into a ring, Aaron. Is that happening? Is there a big... You think she knew? The mother lied. Negligence. There's a 15-year-old boy missing in Tennessee. No one's run into the area searching. Is crickets out there? No, half sour. Actually, a subscriber asked me to share this. You just reminded me. Give me 1 second. All right, has to be under this one. Bear with me a second. I opened it on my phone. Let me send it to myself. It's crazy. Okay, I got it for you. So apparently nobody's talking about this one either. A subscriber wrote this underneath my comments, and this might be what you're speaking about. This might be the same boy. All right, let's check this out. Memphis boy vanishes. Memphis boy vanishes after getting in his car with unknown man. Northeast Missouri boy vanished 2 weeks ago after entering, oh, my thing's blocking me, into a car with an unknown man. They're going to say you have ad blockers. Hey, Georgia, thank you so much. Mrs. Colombo. A witness, Tyler Tavar, is 13 of Memphis, was last seen in Memphis on February 16. February 16. You were called in the morning. When my child, like the other day, we were sick, and I told you, my son stayed home from school. The school called me before I could call them. Hey, Chica. I think Imani just got online. Yeah, Aaron. It reads that way. Scotland County Sheriff Office. The Tavar was last seen getting into a red Honda with an unknown adult male, possibly headed to Keokuk, Iowa. He was a runaway from a foster home. 6 inches tall, weighs 190 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. They say they have no reason to believe he's in danger. He has no reason to believe that he's in any danger. He gets picked up by an adult grown man. You have no reason to believe he's in any danger. What? We're talking about a 13-year-old. This 13-year-old gets picked up by a strange man, and you have no reason to believe he's in danger. That's ridiculous. If it was a 13-year-old girl, do you think it'd read differently? 6 inches tall. He's a tall boy. We're in a small private school. We had 300 students. I called all families for 10 a.m. every day. Excuse me. And also checked with families in the evening just because I cared. Thank you for doing that, Ellen. No danger. Ran away from a foster home. They don't think he's in that. They have no reason to believe he's in danger. Right. Now, I don't want to be a membership of your stupid news organization saying no danger for a 13-year-old who gets in a strange grown man's car. Chose to have a comfortable lifestyle and 2 incomes over a child's safety and well-being. Who did, Blue Petunia? You think Madeline's mom? All right, let's look up Sebastian Wayne Drake. Move my coffee. Sebastian Wayne missing. Oh, yes, I've seen him. I have seen Sebastian being shared. Here's Sebastian here, guys. 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. People are sharing Sebastian, at least. What do you guys think happened to Sebastian? Requested by family, let the local media know they are not in a position to speak or to be available to the media at this time. So the family wants to be left alone. It's not clear if any family members were in attendance at Wednesday's prayer. What? Did I just see? No, New Jersey Robin. Maddie was found deceased. She was deceased. Thank you so much, Georgia. Thank you. What's his story? Let's see. Let's see if they give us much of a story here. We are under the assumption that Sebastian walked off from his phone. Boy went missing Monday from his Hendersonville home. Encourage residents to search their properties once in the morning, again at night, focused on sheds, crawl spaces, tarps, and hopes finding a teen. So I do, if I remember correctly, I did read that he is autistic. Has anyone heard an update on the other matter? I think North Carolina last year. Yes, I did hear he's autistic. He's high functioning autistic, last seen near Stratford. Thank you very much, Mo. These days, unfortunately, there's a foster care here under investigation. Well, and you know what, Jason? I think that's why people find Maddie's mom to be very strange, because during interviews, she stated she's not going to go look for Maddie. Listen, if one of my children disappeared, I don't care if there's 100 armed forces out looking, I'm going to go looking. The fact that she said she's not going to go look because others were looking, oh, lady. Hey, SoFlo Mama. What child's going to leave their phone? I'll tell you what, my son's 11 and he didn't have a phone until Christmas. Amen, Ellen. No, Sebastian was not. The other boy is. Tie me down. Absolutely. She also said they were searching the woods, but she didn't think they'd find anything. What a weird statement to make, Lindsay. If anybody would like to come up and we can talk about these things, you're welcome to join. You couldn't stop me looking for my baby. I just want her back. But I must have typed it wrong, came back. I'll try again today. Thank you. It's 2 S's in business where there's meant to be 1. So that's probably why. You spelled it correctly. I spelled it wrong. Like business. Even if the police told me not to search. Right. You'd have to literally arrest me to not search. You have an uneasy feeling. A lot of people do. That's why I made a poll asking. And listen, I know people don't like to gossip and, point fingers. I mean, look at Athena. You guys remember Athena? How many people blamed Athena's mother? And then we found out it was the FedEx guy. And the mother and the father, nobody had anything to do with it. All right, let's check out. Oh.
I dropped her off early. They could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school.
Stefan, where's Maddie? Did you hurt her? Are you a pedophile? What's on your cell phone? Why aren't you talking to investigators? Where was Maddie last seen? Why aren't you helping her mother?
Now listen. I know we can't do these things, and I know, police don't. Do you remember before there was body cams? You know what I'm saying? Before police officers had body cams and the whole world was spying in on them. Did this man Stefan? That's what you know what I mean? Like, imagine being these officers and you have to handle these creeps with kid gloves because the whole world can see what you do. The whole world. Oh, man, love to give them a good old school justice. Good old justice. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Give me 1 second. I got to feed now. Oh, never mind. She's here. Go ahead. Play with this. Oh, gosh. Is it the rain making her weird? I don't know. Go away, Nellie. Here. Oh, dang it. We lost it.
And her family. This is a little girl. Help them find Maddie. Where is Maddie? Where is she? What did you do with her? Tell us something.
Okay, horrible news. If you've been following the case out of...
Now, listen, I'm not going to lie. I was very disappointed in Plunder and what she did the other day. I don't like those clickbaity type of titles, especially, attached to these little girls. I don't know why so many YouTubers want to put these type of allegations on these little girls. But she does do fantastic videos. So we are going to play Plunder.
Orange County, Florida, not California, the case of Madeline Soto. So she just turned 13.
It's birthday party.
Happy birthday to you.
That was the last time she spoke to her daughter before she was driven to school Monday morning by Soto's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns.
She just turned 13 Thursday, February 22nd. And so Friday was the 23rd, Saturday was the 24th, Sunday was the 25th. Madeline turned 13, had this birthday party. The next day, that Monday, supposedly her mother's boyfriend, this Stefan Stearns, skeevy guy,
Stefan, look at him. You know what I want to know? How long were they together? And as a you never suspected anything? You never saw anything?
Supposedly, he was the one who dropped her off at school that Monday morning. She was still in middle school. And now the cops just had a press conference in Orange County saying they have evidence to believe, even though they haven't found Maddie yet, she's likely not alive.
I wish we were here to tell you.
So shortly after Plunder released this, it was updated by police and searchers that they did find Maddie deceased. Wait, where'd that go? Mom wasn't even at her birthday party. You know what? Oh, God help me. But I'm going to say it, and I'm just going to. Let me see how I preface this. So there's this girl that I grew up and I went to school with, and she had a child young, as did I. I had my daughter as a teenager. I was a teen mother, and she had her daughter very young, and she never really connected with her daughter. But one thing she always did is she always chose men over her children. And as her daughter got older, she appeared to have been jealous of her own daughter. Jealous of her own daughter. I know it's hard to believe, but maybe that was. All right, just go on.
That we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead.
It's enough of these cases already, with Audrey's case.
This creepy son of a. Can we do an eye for an eye when it comes to our children? How many of you think if we did an eye for an eye when it came to our children, that less crimes against our children would be committed? Oh, Chica, Lacey, I'm sorry. She was horrible to her daughter. It was so gross. There are many women who are like this, Revob and Dor. But you know what's funny, Karma, Camille? Oh, it doesn't? We'll have to go get her a new one. Yeah, can you get off? No. No, child. Sorry. So what I've noticed what was I about to say? Camille, Revolve, and Door. Oh yeah. So I've let me get my son to leave the room. Hold on. Can you go watch like YouTube or something? Go play Hungry Evolution. Okay. Sorry. It's not a conversation he should be sitting 15 feet away from me with. So I have, when my children were younger, I was in a very serious relationship. We were together for a few years, and actually to the point where my son thought that, he looked at him as a father figure. When we broke up, it was devastating to him. It was devastating to all of us. So I intentionally have stayed single. And I've done that because, my children are growing up. They're growing up so quickly. I have plenty of years, right? And people use that as a negative thing. She needs to get laid. Right, BJ? I need to get laid, things like that. So it's funny to me because then these same people go on to carry these type of true crime stories where they say things about the mother dating and having these men in and out of their lives. So yeah, I am as their mother. It is up to me to protect them both physically and emotionally, and I can't do that while thinking of myself first. You know what I mean? So.
Case, and now with little Maddie just turning 13 on Thursday. We're going to take a look at this pervy guy and his Reddit comments and the weird interview with him lurking in the background like a creeper.
Well,
You know what, Aaron? You know why I think she doesn't remember the last time she spoke to her daughter? Because her daughter probably despised her. To be 13 years old and going through the abuse she was going through within her own home, there's no doubt in my mind her daughter despised her. Her daughter probably wanted nothing to do with her. Her daughter was going through what she was going through because of her. 33% higher rate of SA. Teens will be SA'd by a non-biological parental figure brought into the home by the parent. Dr. Phil. I can't stand Dr. Phil, but I believe it. Few friends that stay single for their kids. Absolutely. Hey, Headstone's Truth Seeker. Kylie's mom didn't even know her daughter never came home till next AM. Something's off. Oh, excuse me. Kids come first. You have the rest of your life. Exactly, Leo. My dad died when I was small. My mom never remarried, so I left the home at 18. Amen. Raise your baby, date later. Important than you. You put them first. That's amazing. Absolutely, Jennifer. He was lurking. She didn't trust her. Why was she? Why was she? Look what she was going through under her mother's roof by her mother's boyfriend. That she likely, if somebody said they were together for 7 years, right? Let me catch up down here. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have 7 years. So at 6 years old, Maddie goes from being with her mother by herself, just her mom, for 6 years. And then suddenly she brings in this creepy man. And you know what it's like in a honeymoon stage. You spend all your time, you're getting to know each other, you're in love. It sounds like Maddie took a back seat until this creep decided to do what he did. Oh, Gary, thank you. Thing is, there's plenty of time to get laid. Right. And then you have assholes out here saying you blanked yourself. Yeah, it's just disgusting. I'll tell you, none of my toys will ever hurt anybody. That's for sure. Hey, Roberta. I hope we don't have to hear anymore. I hope we don't have to hear anymore.
Monday morning, we took her to school.
I don't need
We dropped her off
man.
close to school,
Hey,
across
Audrey.
the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school.
We dropped her off. Now listen, people are tearing her apart for that, right? Because she's saying we. But is she used to saying we? Because I say we, we here, is she used to saying we? So she's saying we? Or is she hiding something? What do you guys think? No, that's right. And you're right. Bob is better for you. Hey, Gladys. She says a lot, Jennifer. She does say a lot. Well, that's what I'm saying, Caffeinated Slug. Like partners, we take turns doing things. Is it a we? I don't know. Like Betty's we.
She crossed the street.
No.
And walked to school. What we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school.
Now listen, so we now know that wasn't her, right? We know without a doubt that was not her in the footage at the church. Why did mom, is it a mom thing? She wanted to believe it was her? Or do you think she knew it wasn't her? What do you think? I don't know. Listen, I don't want to put too many allegations on this mom because God forbid she just lost her daughter, right? But come on, something's here.
But she never made it for that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on.
Like that right there. It's right next to the school, right? Right next to the school. It's not right next to the school, but even if it were, she didn't make it. And she's just saying it with such little, there's no, so monotone, so matter of fact, so emotionless. Thank you, Joe Madre. So like you're just recounting the event she just had at the local grocery store type of thing. You know what I mean? Like just so
her walk along the way, or she got taken, but she never made it.
With Maddie's mom was in most.
She never made it. I would be bawling at that point. She never made it. I thought I heard they were only together a year. That, you know what? Let me check this into this, Stevie. Hold on.
Most interviews. Her name is Jen Soto. And so she's in most interviews, but Stefan is like lurking around in the background, but he's been arrested. Thankfully, he's in jail. It's for charges they can't elaborate whether they belong specifically to Maddie. Chances are they likely do belong to her, unfortunately. We're going to take a look at the weird interview before he was even arrested and before we knew all of this news we found out today, Friday, March 1st.
So our efforts will be focused on recovering Madeline. Dozens and dozens of detectives, crime analysts, and specialized team members have been working nonstop and following up on every single lead.
So I'm seeing several years. Several years is what's coming up for me. Well, that's fine, Pamela. You can feel that way. We're not blaming. We're simply dissecting it and discussing. Is it weird? I stated several times she just lost her daughter. I don't want to blame her if there's something, but there's something weird here. We're discussing it. So be hysterical. The fact she's so calm is bothering. But then again, Selm, at the same time, was it common? Was it common for Maddie to go off and kind of not come back? Was it, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Was she denying it to herself that this could be something more serious? Thank goodness I've never been in that position because I don't know. I don't know how I would respond. You know what I mean? Not blaming the mom, but mom moved this guy in, and as a mother, she protected her baby.
And every shred of evidence.
Weird.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time, and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
So suppose
moved her body. Don't tell your kids you will idolize one. They may not tell, so you don't go to prison. Just an idea that they'll know you will believe them and handle it. Just saying. Oh, like I'll kill him. Don't say like, oh, I'll kill him. No. Listen, for people that don't know how to approach these subjects with their children, yeah, make sure you get Brittany J on that list too, Pamela. Okay? All right. Don't forget Voices. Fuck out of here. Tragedy pimping for dissecting it and discussing a case. People are weird. You know what? Why don't you pull up the person who pulled up a very graphic fucking police arrest? How about that? Okay? Can't stand people like you that want to come in on a discussion and be like, tragedy pimp, tragedy pimp. No, there are real tragedy pimps out here. This ain't one of them. So anyway, as I was saying, you know what I was saying at this point. I can't with it. Like there are actual tragedy pimping taking place. This ain't one of them. We are having a discussion. If you don't like it, move along. Looking into the mother is not tragedy pimping. Nobody's sitting here saying the mother's guilty, but the mother is guilty of allowing her child to be SA'd under her own roof. Now, what I was saying, let me fix myself, is if you don't know how to have this discussion with your children, there are books that are appropriate based on ages on how to teach your children about, the no-no spot and all those things. And you just got to have an open dialect with your children. Maybe, I don't know, did Maddie ever say anything to anybody? I don't know. Can you allow creators actual cover missed children, putting out awareness? You were causing a distraction for this. Hey, Elisa. I mean, I understand not liking the discussion. Absolutely. I understand that. But this isn't tragedy pimping. I was a single mom for many, many years, and these cases need to be discussed more often for educational reasons. Not all women understand the stats on step parents hurting their kids. I agree. These people who accuse you of being a TP will use Maddie as content for months. Get out of here. Go harass the Wells family a little more. I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I know, New Jersey Robin. It just, Pamela just pissed me off with that one. First off, I thought we were cool, Pamela. But I digress. Whatever. Feel how you feel. You don't see this in my thumbnail. You don't see this in my title. You don't see it hashtagged in my thing. You see none of it. You know why? Because it wasn't even meant to be the discussion, but it turned into. And that's something I can do over here on my channel. Hi, Titanium. Tragedy.
Supposedly, the line was that Maddie's mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, dropped Maddie off in front of some Peace United Methodist preschool. So that's at 13502 Town Loop Boulevard.
That is a really good idea, dial up. Yeah, right, Leo? Has there been a mention of any Cash App, PayPal links? Nope. I haven't listed off my yearly expenses. I didn't tell you how much, my son being sick is going to cost me cough medicine. None of it. You can find interviews with RSOs, and they will tell you they look for single mothers' children. Stevie, I'll never forget years ago. Do you guys remember when the whole stick figures for stickers for your car came out? I'll never forget when a man that I worked for at the time said to me, "Oh, so you're a single mom with 2 kids, one that plays basketball." And I'm like, what? Like, I was like taken back by that. Like, what? And then he pointed out to me, that is what I'm telling the world when I drove around with those stickers on my car. And I didn't even think about it until he said it to me. But it is so true. They are so stupid to put on your car. You only have to mention a case and you're threatened with, oh my God, I'm telling, F off. There's clear difference between the Bettys of this world and Granny. Well, listen, British. They're not gonna throw me off. I'm gonna stick it to this. If you want to call out tragedy pimps, make sure you call out all of them, not just the ones you're friends with. If you want to add me to your tragedy pimp list, go for it. Baby on board. They do. I don't think many people realized it. I'm glad they've simmered down in their popularity.
Boulevard in Orlando. So that's only about 0.4 miles away, or a 9-minute walk to school from Hunters Creek Middle School, 13400 Town Loop Boulevard. Supposedly it's a common drop-off spot because, how crowded it can be at drop-off time. I'm going to lay off of Maddie's mom. She just found out this news. Some people think she's a little sketchy too. Some people are thinking there's, rumors on Facebook. I'm only bringing them up because that's what viewers will talk about. But
so like that right there, right? I could sit here and I can tell you, I could say the same thing. I'm going to lay off her because no. What Plunder's doing is the same thing she did when she took a commenter's question and turned it into the title of her video that day, putting alleged essay on a victim, a child. Oh, but a commenter said,
I'm laying off of her because it is very possible Maddie's mom, Jen, may have had no idea what her boyfriend was into and all the gross stuff they found on his phone. We'll get into the affidavit a little bit, whatever I can read on YouTube.
If you see my daughter, just please bring her home. I just hope you're okay, Maddie. I hope you're safe. There's no way to track her right now because the detectives don't have her phone.
So she might not have known about her boyfriend's sinister shenanigans. If the TikTok series Who the F Did I Marry taught us anything, it's that something can be going on right under your own nose, right in your own home, and people don't know what their spouse or significant other might be up to. Some people are great liars, they're great at hiding things, and some people threaten children not to tell, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're right, Plunder. Very true. Stick person doing steroids. Thank you, East Coast.
But on the screen here, where this amazing little boy, he lost his mom at the hands of his stepdad, and his stepdad had been mistreating him, but his
wasn't there.
seen of her?
This one, everything.
And that was the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day.
Welcome, Karma. Thank you. Thank you, Karma. And welcome, T-Bell. Thank you. Whoa, so her first story was they took her. Now just him, which is what I was saying. It could just be one of those situations where we, like you're used to saying we. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain that. Hey, Lucy. But that whole, with the school not notifying, she had to email one of the teachers to find out she was late or was absent. So the school didn't notify at all? Yes, Mel. Yes, the man behind her. This man right here that's cracking his knuckles is the one that did it. And he was abusing Maddie horribly. Are able to look into someone's background, right? So how does this even happen? He may not have had anything on his background. Thank you so much, Lacey. I don't know, Daisy Duke. Yes, listening to see what she's saying type of things, how people took it, Mel. How creepy is this? Hey, Gaga. Yes. I hope the school fixes their shit after this.
At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
But this creepy guy here, this Stefan, he's lurking behind the mom, carrying this little drink. People have a lot to say about them hugging and her kind of comforting him, but this is before Stefan was arrested. I can't say that she knew anything about what was going on. Plus, Stefan's own interview is weird and creepy. He's like crying and the loud sniff, and it reminds me of Chris Watts when he would try and...
I know a lot of times, hey, Turtle, we say things like that, like it reminds me of so-and-so and so-and-so. The fact of the matter is most of them have done this. You know what I think is fantastic? Some of you may disagree. I know some of you may disagree. But I have thought for years now, and I do mean years, and I've argued with people about it, and I've always maintained it, that I think Scott Peterson is innocent. And now the Innocence Act is picking up his case, his hearing. Thank you so much, Lacey. They get me. They get me quick as hell. Every before, like, we're sick. For example, Friday, they have to be in school by 8:20. By 8, I swear to you, I'm not even kidding. By 8:40, they call at least twice before they call again with a message that says your child has been absent. Hey, Chicken Noodle, good morning. You don't think he's any? Oh, we got to do a poll. Hold on. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Granny. I got a question for the mom. How do we know that that's just not when she didn't clear her voicemail, that it was in the evening? Because I'll tell you what, my kids, when I don't send them to school, my phone's ringing, and they call not only my phone, they call my husband's phone. I'm wondering if that's when the mom just cleared her voicemail, that it was evening, because by 9:30, the school's calling me. Even if I've already called the attendance office and left a message that I was keeping them home, I still get the phone call.
So you're thinking the mom just didn't hear the voice message till later?
Right. Maybe she just didn't clear her voicemail till later.
That's a good point, but I will say, now I believe Maddie being 13, she was in middle school, but I know with my daughter's high school, they absolutely did not. They used to not call the high school. That was aggravating, to say the least. Now they do. They immediately call, and they even text you if your child is late.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to hear from other parents in the area to see, do they agree that the school doesn't call? Have they had that experience? I'm
My
sure we
baby,
can see it on their Facebook pages. I'm sure it's being discussed somewhere.
yeah, my neighbors got a daughter the same age, and they call her in the morning. My babysitter's in her last year of high school, and if she's not in school, they're on the phone. And that girl only lives where they found her was only about 2 hours from me.
Wow, really? So you're close.
Mm.
Oh.
I'm just sick of hearing about these kids. It's just disgusting.
So you're kind of thinking mom may be telling a little bit of a fib here?
Well, she could just be, shook up. It was her child. She could just be emotionally, mentally a mess, and that's just when she cleared her voicemail. Because a lot of times, I have to be honest, I don't clear mine sometimes for a couple days.
Yeah, I don't even listen to voicemails at all. Which is funny because I went through the other day because I have a different phone and whatever, and it was like you have blank amount of voicemail. So I started listening, and some of them was like it was just comical.
I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. Instead of putting my avatar, it's putting a K.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Now, if you go down to where you are at the bottom next to my name and you click the 3 dots, you can edit your avatar there. Edit audio avatar and update it. Just wanted to mention it's not the large organization, the Innocence Project's one based out of LA with a similar name. Really, Plush? Yeah, you would still have the school as a missed call. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get text messages as far as messages sent. Let's look it up. Let's see if we can find out.
Well, the school's number is one that I have that will come up as their school, so I know to answer it. But because you just never know. I tell you what, last year when they had that lockdown, my heart fell to the floor. I was like, oh, hell no. But it was because police were chasing someone by the school, and it wasn't a good situation, so they put the school on lockdown. But they don't tell you that. They just tell you they're in lockdown. You don't know.
So what I'm seeing here is parents are actually pushing for a change since what happened to Maddie. So it seems like she's not lying about that because, parents push change to school absence notification procedure in light of Madeline Soto case. So it doesn't, doesn't seem,
I'm going to look it up.
Here.
I'm going to look it up.
I have it on the screen here.
For Osceola County?
Yes.
Their policies?
No, I don't have their policies up. I have that other parents are pushing for the change.
Yeah.
Saying that it
no, if they're not calling in the morning, they need to fix that. Like yesterday, that shouldn't. At 13, your mother should know, or your parents should know if you didn't make it to school.
Yeah, so Sarah Terrell, the mom of a Hunters Creek Middle School student, is one of the many Orange County parents asking Orange County schools to notify parents earlier in the day that their child is absent. Terrell started a petition on Thursday that already has hundreds of signatures. Quote, I don't think that it would be so horrible to get a call at 10 or 11 a.m. that my student was absent. And maybe they were at the doctor and maybe I dropped them off at noon and I could just then ignore that call because I know the student is with me, but that's far better scenario than the other way around.
Right. Or like Thursday, I had to take my daughter to the or Friday, I had to take my daughter to the eye doctor. I had just taken her into school and signed her in when I got a call from the automated system telling me she wasn't in school.
Yeah, that's how it is here. But here it says Orange County Public Schools said their automated system notifies parents after the school day.
Oh, that's nuts. No, that's nuts. That does you no good. That's too long. That's too many hours.
Because that's the final cutoff for teachers submit attendance is at 3:30. That's ridiculous. And then Attendance is finalized in the system. The school district says a report is run, and then later guardians are notified their student was absent. Typically, parents are notified around 5 p.m.
Oh no, that's not acceptable. See here, they're scanned. They have IDs, and when they get on the bus, they're scanned in. When they get off the bus, they're scanned.
Oh, wow.
And they can't get on the bus without that ID, so you attach it to their backpacks and hope they don't lose it.
That's crazy. This is crazy, though.
Yeah, that is nuts. That's not acceptable. That's way too many hours.
Well, you're right, Caffeinated Slug. When the school district's doing this, they're not thinking of a child who didn't make it to school because they were kidnapped or whatever. They're thinking of, absence or maybe even a child skipping school. They're certainly not thinking of a child being harmed the way Maddie was, but, it still needs to be updated.
That it does. Yeah, she's from Orange County schools, but they found her in Osceola County, which, counties touch each other, so. That's sad.
That is really sad.
But that interview with the mom and the boyfriend just creeped me out.
Yeah, it's gross. There's something sincerely wrong with all of this.
And I have
over the way the mother is responding, it just seems odd.
Yeah, there's nothing that would keep me from looking for my child. Nothing. I wouldn't care if every person on this earth was looking. I would still be out there looking. Right.
The fact that she said, "Oh, other people are there," and then it turned to, "Well, I want to be here for when she comes home." It's just bizarre. Yeah, we get a call by like 8:49 a.m. Good morning, just a mom.
That's crazy. There's no reason to do it at the end of the day. Scan them in. When I take one of my kids in because of a doctor's appointment or something, they're scanned in right there at the office when I take them to check them in. They're scanned in.
Oh, we don't have a scan in, but that's pretty cool. That's a good idea.
Well, they do. Yeah, they do it behind the office. The girl, the secretaries. Yeah, they have. Yep, they scan them right in.
Well, Lacey Ann, there's articles proving that Orange County admits that's the way they do it. That's their,
That's crazy. That's too much time.
I agree.
Mm-mm.
Hey, Katie.
Wow, this one lady says her kids are scanned in too, but still don't call till 6:30. That's nuts. Set up an automated system. That's what they do around here. It's an automated system that calls you.
Yeah, same.
I just.
Oh, I will be, Gary. I'm shocked by the poll, to be honest. Here, let's see what else she says here. Definitely weird.
You hear me crying? Don't you hear me crying? Ugh.
It's a living nightmare. Day started off like any other.
Are you, in a sense, blaming yourself?
It's hard not to.
Why?
Look, I've always said this about men. Men always seem to get they age better than us, right? Look at this photo. Like, if I would have seen this guy, I'm sorry to admit, but I think he looks creepy. And then you have him over here. He looks like a completely different guy. And this whole, are you in a way blaming yourself? That's the difference between being a professional interviewer and being a YouTuber. They ask these questions because they know why they're asking them. He had a purpose for saying, are you blaming yourself? I can't find your other comments. I'm sorry. Wait. We have a missing girl case where I live. She was taken on the other side of the state, and video surveillance saw her trying to escape from a car at a gas station in my town. I just saw that last night. I can't believe nobody saw that happening.
Mm-hmm.
There's video of a gas station of a girl getting out of a car. She starts to run. The guy comes and grabs her and throws her back in the back seat.
And no one called the police or anything? Oh, see, my mouth would have been, I'd have been, I'm nosy and I would have interfered.
I don't think anybody noticed. I don't think people simply just didn't notice. Yeah. They have no idea. They can't even get the license plate from the video. They just have no idea. I guess they figured out who the woman is if she's missing from your area, chicken. But Yeah, that was scary.
And see, I need to know what's going on around me, so I do pay attention because I need to know. Because I got littles, and I trust no one.
Yeah, I'm not very observant. I honestly, I'm just not.
Yeah, being in a foster home all those years and dealing with some of the things I've dealt with, you don't trust anyone.
Nope, I agree. No, Lacey Ann, she didn't look at all. God, it's creepy.
I dropped her off early. They could have waited longer. She looked okay. She was walking towards the school.
We'll talk about.
Let me tell you. So the way my children's drop off is it's supposed to be you roll up, the child gets out, and you move it along. Now there are some people that they roll. This one lady, I kid you not, I could have fought her the first week of school. She would pull up to the drop off lane, get out of her car, pop her trunk, and their kids are picking snacks out of the back of the trunk. And I'm like, no, this is a roll and go, lady. You know what I mean? You're in the roll and go lane. Like, you got to go. Anyway, now I take them on to the other side of the school. And there's this one father who every single day he gets out of his car and he watches his middle schooler walk in to the actual doors. And we have principal outside. We have teachers outside. We have all the things. But he actually watches her walk in the door. And I'm not going to lie. Until this, I was annoyed. And I'm like, dude, the teachers are all right there. The door's right there. Like, she's getting in. Go. Move it along. This is the drop-off lane. But now I get it. I get it. I get why he felt or feels he needs to stay there and watch. Because, look what we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. But that's why our school has teachers outside. I don't know.
Sustanet. That's the name that Stefan goes by on Instagram and Reddit. We'll look at a few of his weird telling Reddit comments, but I guess sustanet means a third person singular present active indicative of susteneo, which is defined as to hold up or upright or uphold, support, and sustain. So why did he choose that name? I don't know, but this weird interview, Jen is giving her version of events. Now, granted, this might have been just what Jen has been told, not that she's implicated in any way.
Have you heard from any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active on social media, none of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her. Yeah, there's no update.
Oh, Nelly.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past?
Look at him fiddling with his fingers there, just sitting on this stool. Like, he's not even, at least pull up next to her. No, he's sitting back there twiddling his fingers because he knows. I got to feed my cat really quick, Kathy.
All right.
Should I keep playing or do you want to talk?
I'll talk. I don't care. Whatever you want to do.
All right.
Didn't the mother state that she had not talked to her since 10 o'clock the night before? How do you not? Who gets her up for school? Who gets her breakfast? Who gets her, make sure she's ready for school? Him? Ugh. Yeah, no. Sometimes these women need to, you want to date, fine, knock yourself out, but keep them away from your kids, at least while they're little, till they're, my guess is there's been something going on there for a while. This wasn't just a one-time thing. But I don't know. That arrest affidavit was gruesome. I regret reading it. I really regret reading it. I haven't seen one that gruesome in a long time. It was bad.
Oh, yeah. The affidavit?
Yeah, it was bad.
Horrific. Absolutely horrific. I don't recommend anybody seeking it out. Just don't even. Horrible.
My cat is over there smashed up against, down here we call them bird cages, your poles enclosed with a big screened-in room, and he is smashed up against the screened-in room between the big floaties on his back sleeping.
I used to not like cats. as my daughter dropped a kitten off on my lap. And I never thought my phone would be full of so many photos of sleeping kittens. When I drop my daughter off at dance, I wait until she walks into the building. I don't bring her to school. Her grandfather does. He walks her to the door. Yeah, see, we have teachers outside, so that's the only reason I'm confident with just kind of rolling and going. But man, no, New Jersey Robin. I was actually looking into that.
And I'm sorry, but if my daughter would tell me she wanted to go live in the woods instead of live at home, that's a good point that Melissa Bell made. The comment or whoever made about the child texting she was going to run away and live in the woods. That would have been a red flag for me, because why would your daughter run away, especially down here where we have poisonous snakes, gators, all kind of wild critters everywhere. That's a red flag to me anyway.
Well, she said that was made as like a joke. Like if they're like, she said that was taken out of context, that what Maddie was saying is if there was like some end of the world type stuff.
At 13?
Right.
Yeah, no. And most 13-year-old girls are terrified of bugs, and we have these damn big-ass palmetto bugs that are nothing but cockroaches on steroids. Heavy-duty steroids. These suckers are big and ugly. I'm terrified of them. But there is no way. My daughter does not do bugs of any kind.
Yeah, that's very true. Christina, yeah, Angel Sense is fantastic, but it's so expensive. It's so expensive.
I take my daughter to dance. I stay there with her.
Threatened to run away.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before, and she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday.
Accidentally. Come on.
Which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful.
See, so let me tell you something. I have come to learn while watching these type of interviews being done that anytime while a child is missing, if a mother can put any type of negative undertone, to me, that's a negative thing to say about your child. Like, oh, she's very forgetful. She accidentally left her phone. Teenagers are normally glued to their phones.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe Maddie was different. Maybe she wasn't a child that's glued to her phone or anything like that. Okay, fine. I get that. But to be like she's ADHD and very forgetful. No, she has ADHD.
Right.
That is a symptom of ADHD, is being distracted, whatever. But adding in that, to me, it just seemed very, it seemed negative, especially for the context of the conversation.
My daughter's ADHD, and her tablet, her iPad is glued to her unless I take it.
Yeah. Right. ADHD, you think she would have the phone. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did the accidental, factory reset that day. Please.
Yeah, that's no accident. You've got to press buttons. You've got to okay the factory reset. That's no accident.
There's so many steps to go through. Of course, it wasn't. We know what they found now, but oof.
ADHD and very forgetful. So she left her phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
See, like even right there, right? She left her phone, so there's no way to trace her. Oh, and her school laptop's off, so there's no way to trace anything. I'd be hysterical.
Yeah, because that's a school issued tablet, and they will ping unless somebody completely turned the power off.
Well, he threw it away that morning.
Yeah, in a dumpster. Yeah.
So, but the idea that, like, as a mom, your child's missing, you're just nonchalantly accidentally left their phone and the school laptop. I'd be like, oh my gosh, her phone's here and the laptop's off, and but then again, maybe she handles things differently.
Yeah,
so
she could just be in shock. You know, it could be. I mean, I don't want to, go at the mom. I just have questions.
Right.
Because the dude just doesn't even give you a good vibe, even just by hearing the way he talks, his mannerisms. I don't know. But I don't know. And that was before I even knew that he was being charged.
Right.
I don't know. God,
Ben, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have like met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone, and she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their messages, nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken, because this is not like her at all, to just disappear and not let us know where she's going or who she's with. Yeah.
What are you getting from law enforcement? Are they actively searching for her? What happens now? Especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search around the school. Behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs. They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent. They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her. But I don't feel like that's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar and like her personal belongings, and nothing is hers. So I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help, because I'm desperate. I'm a wreck right now.
So you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
As a mom, what's your mother's intuition telling you right now?
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay. I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
That right there, to me, that whatever that means, I just want her back. What the fuck does that mean? As a mother, to say whatever it means, I just want her, whatever that means, I just want her back.
Yeah. Up until that point, I just wanted to hug her. And then when she said that, it kind of threw me off.
That, I don't want her to come back to me harmed. I just want her to come back, whatever that means. What? Listen to that again. That just sounded so weird.
I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Whatever that means, I just want her back. Right, that means dead or alive.
Yeah. But that could have been, she's just, I couldn't even imagine being in her shoes and my daughter being missing. You know what? Everyone tells me I'm too much of a helicopter mom. I'll take it and I'll stay that helicopter mom.
Yeah, I'm not a helicopter mom by any means. But I'm very open with my children. We speak about things.
Oh yeah.
Well,
mine are only 6 and 8.5.
Okay, yeah, yours are still little.
Yeah.
But to say whatever that, I just want her back. I'm sure that was her fear. You think that was her fear speaking?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I already have jaded goggles towards this mother. So, because the way I see it is you brought this was under your roof, and I get it. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe she had no idea. Maybe, God forbid if today she's living in this hell of the guy I loved and trusted harms my child. Yes, that's horrific. It's absolutely horrific. But I do feel like there should be some type of law that holds these parents accountable.
And also, I really truly believe that there was things happening for a while.
Yeah, without a doubt.
So what did children act out? There were, behavior issues. Was she just chalking it up to the ADHD and not paying attention, or I don't know.
I doubt it. She said this was unusual for her. I don't know. Kids are 15, 18, 21, even teen and young adults go missing, become targets of crimes. Undoubtedly, yeah.
I talk to my kids openly, even at their young ages, about stranger danger, everything, and even just not stranger danger, people that you know. Because a lot of times it is someone that is familiar with the children.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like my husband's job. He's worked with this guy for 12 years. He's been his boss for 12 years.
I'm going to run to the restroom.
He didn't come into work, and nobody knew he wasn't calling off, not coming in. Then his mom, this is a grown-ass man, but most of my husband's crew are disabled in some way that he supervises. So his mother came over, and he was arrested for having the same kind of things on his phone and his computer that this man had. And then come to find out that 2 years ago, his brother, who is now in prison, is in prison for the same thing. And they were all blaming themselves, saying they didn't know who, they didn't know. And I'm like, well, you're not going to know. There's no sign on them saying, hey, I'm a pedo, You're just not going to know. They're not going to brag about it. And he didn't know him outside of work. He only knew him at work. But it's just crazy. Our kids, I don't get to wanting to hurt a child. I don't know.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's all right.
Freeze in the freeze zone.
They
All
just
right.
busted somebody at my husband's job for the same exact stuff that was on this guy's phone.
Oh my goodness.
And here, his brother's in prison for the same crimes.
Oh, good golly.
And my husband was mad at himself. He said, I had the kids down here in this building. I said, you didn't know, Frank. He doesn't have a sign on that says, hey, I'm a pedo.
Right.
You didn't let the kids anywhere near him. He wasn't even there. My husband's been his boss for 12 years. But he didn't know him outside of work, just at work. But so the supervisors were all beating themselves up. I'm like, for what? You don't know. It's not like he
never know.
Yeah, he didn't advertise it and share it with everybody,
Sick.
Yeah. And, you got the bullhorns and them saying, oh, it's getting worse now. No, it's always been there. It's just we didn't have the capabilities, the technology that we do now to get the info out. And, back when I was young, it was all swept under the carpet. No one ever talked about it. But it's always been there, and it's always been going on.
Hey, New Jersey, Robin, do you want your camera on?
No, I'm going to shut it off.
Okay, thank you. Nobody can see anyway. How you doing?
Good morning. This is a very troubling week or two here with these cases, but I wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, these cases are very near to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I have a family member, very close family member, that helped start the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and retired recently. So he devoted his life to this. So please go to their website, and check out all of the education they have on there. There's packages for parents. There's packages for your children. There's things you should know with the computer age, things that you could put warnings on and things like that to protect your children. That's foremost, I want to say. It's a rough life that you have to live with being an officer with this type of situation. Matter of fact, he helped make the Amber Alert available. He worked with John Walsh, but anyway, I'm a survivor of this, and I have family members who have been a survivor of this as young children. And people see a lot of stuff on TV because we're now in an internet world. I'm 70 years old. So we're in a world of fast-paced. Now we need everything now. Everything has to be seen now. So we're in a very fast-paced. People's heads are more into computers, into their phones, and then into your children. They have to work. It's a two parents have to work. It's a very, very crazy world we're living in now. And I'm not making excuses for anybody. But you do not know a predator. Like if you go, I think it's called raindrop.org, but go to Unsupervised Maniacs channel. She has all the websites for this stuff on there, all the links that you get statistics and everything, all the places that are very good resources to check into this. I think they were saying something like 75% of these cases would be somebody that you know. It doesn't mean it has to be somebody living with you. It could be a teacher. It could be an aunt, an uncle. It could be a brother. It could be a sister. It could be anybody. But 75% of these cases are, I believe, it was 75, are people that are known to us and the family. Now, they also are very good, these predators, of knowing how to groom the family, not just the victim, but the family. So they have preferences. So let's say the predator might have been in the family for 5 years, but their preference is a teenager. So they come in as, like this situation. They're good towards your children, all of these things, but they're waiting. They're waiting for that moment when that person becomes that age. Like if you look at what happened to Cunningham, she just turned 13. And it was Valentine's Day. He chose Valentine's Day to start getting ready to do this. So she was 10, I think. The last victim he tried this on, and he did not go on the sexual registry because that was a law, because it was only an allegation. It was not proven anything. That situation, the last girl he did this to was also the same age. So they have like a preference. It makes me
sick. But not
sick.
always. To be honest, they don't always have a preference.
Most of them do. And it makes me sick, the ones with the young children. It's just, oh my God. Any of them make me sick. But they that's why I said go on there. You'll get to see a lot of things. But a lot of them have a type, a preference, all of this stuff. It's like they have a sick mind. They really have a sick mind. And the other thing I wanted to say, as far as the mother, like, she might not have known a darn thing. And this guy might have been really good at manipulating her. Everything looked like a great family. Everything looked good to her. She didn't know. And when you are in a state of shock and something happens that's a trauma to you, like I found my husband passed away on my front porch of a heart attack hours after he died. I was in such a state of shock and talking to the police and all. I didn't know what the heck I was saying. My son told me I said things to the lawyer that he said was rude. I said to the things at a funeral home, he said, Mom, I can't believe you said that. So what did I say? When he told me, I was like, oh my God, did I really say that? You don't know.
I get all of that, but that's like walking into a tragedy and it happened and you're being interviewed on the spot. This woman sought out these interviews.
Right.
She fought for these interviews. So there's such a difference here. It's not like, police came knocking. It's the first time they're speaking to her. No, she reached out to news stations. She reached out, which, could be a sign of innocence as well. But, it's quite a different scenario, if you ask me. I get what you're saying and where you're going with it.
But do you mean like because she
the one thing when I found my son, the one thing that stands out to me, which is really probably weird, when the police came and the detective was there and she wanted to interview me, I'm like, I just found my son, my only child. I was in no shape to talk to anyone. Do you know that witch had the nerve to turn around and say, well, the mother's going to be useless to me? I'll never forget that.
So sorry. So sorry. I get it. It's the things you go through when you're dealing with this is unbelievable. I'm so sorry. But the part where she was saying about the fear, I mean, what she was saying about However, she wants her daughter found. Maybe in the back of her mind, I mean, with all that we do see every day, with all these kids being found dead, maybe that was in her mind. So, however she got her daughter, she just wanted her daughter. Maybe that's why she said it that way. Is what I was thinking.
Could be.
Yeah, I just think I don't know, my mind couldn't go there right away. I mean, yeah, reality, right? Reality is, but just the way she said it, I just want her back, whatever that, it just seems cold. It's just weird to me.
It's very. I mean, nobody knows. I mean, I don't know what I would do. I could say I would do this, but if I was
Well,
in
of
that
course.
situation, I might do something totally different than I said I would do.
I absolutely agree with that.
I really just don't know. I mean, and that happens. That happens in a lot of these cases. Parents get judged immediately because of their reaction or what they're saying or what they're doing.
Well,
So-
I agree with that, but for me, I'm not really judging her on what she's saying and what she's doing. I'm judging on the fact that this predator was under her roof. And she's claiming she had this relationship with Maddie, and like she's acting like they were so close and they spoke and when she had crushes and all that. But you didn't know your daughter is being abused right in your home. And for me, I feel like it should be a crime because there are so many cases where you see that is the mother's boyfriend, is the mother's partner, is they leave the babies with the mom's boyfriend and he, unalives them, beats them to death, whatever. There needs to be accountability for that. We are our children's protectors. At the end of the day, who we bring into the home, we have to protect our kids. And I feel like she failed.
Yep.
I feel like she failed. And there should be some accountability for it.
Well, and it's right on the heels of the Aubrey Cunningham case. It's like, is that where he got the idea? I don't know. But why all of a sudden did you want to shut her up? What was she finally going to tell? Is that what you were afraid of?
Yeah, and I think, like she was saying, she checked all the stuff. But that's the other thing. See, a lot of these predators, what they do is they put a fear, they get trust. It's a whole cycle they do. They get trust. Then after they get trust, then they put fear in them. Like, you don't want them to tell your mother this is nothing. I mean, it's a whole, oh my God. So you think it's nothing wrong with that. It's a whole sickening thing what they do. And
oh, absolutely. But that's where, as the mother, you have to guide and teach your children that, that what he says, I mean, educate our children. That's all, yes, they are going to make you fearful. They are going to tell you, I'll unalive you, or I'll unalive your mother, or they'll say and do whatever they can to keep a child silent. Absolutely.
But children at that age also act out. There's also being an experienced foster parent. I've seen it where the behaviors and stuff would and I wasn't even their biological mom, but it would still raise red flags for me.
Oh yeah, I think there needs to be more education. I agree, and I think there needs to be more communication with parents and their children. But I see that's definitely becoming even further away. With the kids are just into their own little world, and the parents are working, and they're just like, oh, the kid goes off to do this or that. It's like there's no communication in our society anymore, and that scares me.
I agree. I've held a whole topic on this before. Traditional families are gone. It takes two parents to work. A lot of children are left to these devices. I mean, when the solar flare, when the scientists were predicting a solar flare, I said, I hope it does come. And I hope it takes out our internet for at least a week so people can wake up and realize what's important in life. So many times you hear people just shoving. I go to a restaurant and I see a baby with a laptop. You can't old school entertain your children. We have to throw devices at them all day and night. It makes me sick. There's a lot of families don't sit around the kitchen table anymore. There's rarely any open discussion. A lot of these kids, my daughter's 17. A lot of her friends don't even make eye contact. They don't greet you when they come through the door. They don't know how to talk in person. They'll sit next to each other and they're texting each other through the phone instead of communicating in person. I've never witnessed anything like it. Our society is doomed. Absolutely. But, I just still feel like it is up to the parents to.
Yeah. And I'm old school. I'm 60 and I'm raising kids. And it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy, but I still do the old school things. We still have dinner. They only get limited time on their tablets.
Absolutely.
They only get limited TV time. We play board games. We go outside and do stuff. Maybe that's, I'm hoping that's a benefit for them and not the way I see their friends being raised where they're mostly on their own because unfortunately both parents or the one parent's got to work 1 or 2 jobs.
Now, see, I don't agree with the parenting doing this whole thing as excuse. Well, we both have to work. We don't have time because I had to work instead of my husband, and that was a long time ago. And we didn't have computers to sit in front of our kids or phones or any of
Right.
that.
Neither
The kids
did we
had to
with
go
our
out to
son.
play, and you had communication with your children.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's missing. I see that's really missing. And my son was telling me, like my grandson, he had friends over the house, right? When he was like 17, all the kids are sitting in the living room with their phones, texting conversation to each other,
Mm-hmm.
sitting there.
Yep.
I'm like, excuse me? They did what?
Yeah.
They're in the same room talking on the phone to each other.
I was blown away at how many kindergartners in my son's class have phones. I was shocked. I was really shocked. I was like, what? No, you're not getting a phone. Sorry.
Yeah, but then on the other side of it, they say kids are in such danger nowadays. They need phones. It doesn't.
Yeah, a flip phone is something the kid could call for emergency. But these computer phones with the everything on them, they don't need that at that age.
No, not at all.
My kids have watches that are set up where they can text only 2 numbers, my husband's or mine.
Mm-hmm.
My 6-year-old doesn't get it, so I'm not worried, but my 8.5-year-old does.
And I saw something, I think it was when all this was going on with Summer Wells, started looking into everything with my grandchildren, but they had a Timex watch, I believe, you could buy for your young kids. And it has a GPS tracker on it. So you can put that. So that was something I thought was interesting.
Yeah, but who, when we put these trackers and stuff on our kids, who else is tracking them? You know what I mean? Like, who's the company? What's this company we're all trusting to track our kids?
But you could program it's just your who it goes to, the parents and you.
Right, and whoever developed the product, right?
Yeah, and people are always hacking into those systems.
Well,
I don't believe in all this technology taking over. I don't, whatever happened to old school, just watching your kids, getting to know your neighbors and believing in your community as a whole to, it takes a village, right? We live in such different times now where we are making our children antisocial with all these tracking devices and, their cell phones and just old school traditions that rely on them. We shouldn't be relying so much on these. I mean, most of them are Chinese made, to be quite frank. And we're, look at TikTok. All our kids have TikTok. And I don't know. I don't believe in all these tracking devices and shit because who else is seeing it? Who's running it?
I agree with that. And I also believe, like, they put on there, now it's up to the parents. They put on their age restrictions on all these things. And parents still let their kids do it. There's a reason why there's an age limit on it.
Oh, absolutely.
Same as video games. I'm watching kids have fits and it says like 18 and older. The kids having fit that their mother won't buy them this violent video game at 10. I want to smack these kids, but I know God forbid me.
But it's a double-sided sword because in this day and age, that phone, if they have the phone, that phone call or that text message could be what saves them.
Yeah. That's why I thought of a flip phone, I would say, is important. Like my granddaughter didn't have they didn't have phones, but they had a flip phone so they could call with numbers programmed in. Like 911, things they needed. That's it. There was no social media on it, no computer stuff on it.
And now, since it was him, now I'm wondering if he's the one that left her phone behind and not her.
Oh, absolutely. She was already deceased.
Mm-hmm.
But
when the police came out with that, I mean, when's the last time you seen a presser where they came out and announced that they believe she was already gone?
Yeah, it's true. That's because they had footage of her in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they saw what happened was they got his phone. And when they got his phone, there was pictures that he took of her dead. He has all these photos of her. It's well, they're not gonna.
Oh,
Yeah, he's got photos of everything.
Uh,
That's
it-
all the stuff. And I don't think, like, one of the things that's bothering me, I think kind of after Sav Girl and all, but I don't think like all these missing children or these children that are found deceased and the case hasn't even gone to trial yet. I think that the affidavits should be a sealed document. So it's not like on all over YouTube and all over the things.
well, especially when it's involving children. Absolutely, it should
yeah,
be.
yeah.
On
I think this
children's cases.
affidavit should have never been released to anybody.
And I think it's
Mm,
ridiculous that others would even, quite frankly, spread it. First off, does anybody care about, I mean, like respect on the baby's name, on the little girl's name? Like I just, it's horrific. And then her classmates end up seeing it. And I just, I
mhm.
can't. I just think it's horrible.
Well, they did it on Audrey coming in. They're doing on this little 3-year-old that hasn't even been found yet.
Yeah.
They're reading. I mean, that affidavit was disgusting.
Yeah.
I had to get out of there. I'm like, what the heck are you reading it for? That's
Yeah.
like, I mean, to get the shock factor, how disgusting this person is, and this child isn't even found yet. How he punished the kid, and put him in the corner at 3 years old and all. We don't need to hear that. We really don't. I just can't. I just think there needs to be a federal law in any of these cases with children that's part of a crime or missing children, that court documents and things of arrest warrants and stuff are sealed and only given out what the press is allowing to be out. It could ruin the whole case. It's awful.
Yeah, Katie made a good comment. She said, "My teens have phones and computers, but we still spend tons of time together, device free. We still monitor all their devices, including my 18-year-old who's SAD. It's about balance." That's true. That's very true.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. I mean, I believe my kids should have all that, but don't make it as the babysitter.
No.
I love board games with the kids. I think all that stuff is good.
We play a ton of games. We have I probably have 50 board games, and I'll keep buying them because that we sit and play them sometimes for 2-3 hours at a time. As long as I can still do that with them at this age, I want to take advantage of it because the teen years are not far behind, not far from us.
And the other thing is missing, I noticed, is community centers and community places for kids to go, like with activities. Like we used to have ice skating rings, roller skating rings, places that kids could go and parents could bring them and even be there with them to do activities for the community. So they get the social interaction. We're missing all that.
Yeah.
So there's your village. If you you have everybody isolated behind closed doors, don't even know who their neighbors are. How are we going to have a village?
Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, it's like that. The way people move in and out of neighborhoods, you just never. I'm lucky we have long-term years and year neighbors, so my kids know them all.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what they said about the father? Where's the father in this child's case?
He lives out of state.
I mean,
The father and the stepmother did an interview.
All right, I missed about the father. What is the father saying on Maddie's
They
case?
just wanted. It was in the very beginning when they. Oh, sorry about the airplane. What the heck is that? That's really low. That worries me because plane frickin' the house is down here. But
Oh, you live up in by Orlando?
yeah.
I have nieces and nephews up in Daytona area, Palm Coast. Mm-hmm.
Wow, they're close.
Yeah, Palm Coast area. It's nice there, but it's hot. I don't like the hot that much.
Yeah, it can get hot. I couldn't live here without a pool.
I just want to ask, you had mentioned, Robin, that there were photos. Where did you get that from?
Oh, they didn't show them. The police said it. They're not showing that.
Yeah, because the only thing I'm seeing is that like sexual in nature photos. I'm not seeing anything that says photos of her being, unalive.
They're saying
Yeah,
they
I
have.
didn't hear that.
They're saying they have the reason. Like you asked, how would they know she was gone? They were saying all the stuff they found with these photos in the phone, but the way they put it, you can. I don't know how to say it. Kind of help.
Contextual clues.
Yeah, helped you
Okay.
understand. Like they knew she was gone.
Right.
Like I don't know. Like it'll all come out later. So I'm
Ugh.
not saying this is positive, but it's the way I took it. I should say
Right.
it was in
Okay.
my opinion.
That's okay. I didn't want, what I mean, just in case. I know they stated in the video, the surveillance that they saw that she was in the vehicle unalived.
Right.
Oh, I can't even imagine what this poor girl went through.
And they did say that the bedding in the pictures
Yeah, yeah.
was,
Well, they
yeah.
said already that even without that, they said the content was made within the home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank you, Boo
That's,
Berry.
that's
And we don't know if he did this in the home to her and then put her in the car, or did she go in the car and do this somewhere else? We don't know. Police know everything. We don't need to know.
Right.
well, he's not talking. He hasn't said a word since he was arrested.
Yeah, I saw one channel that did like 2 hours before they arrested him. Him like you said, we were just watching him crying and everything, and then 2 hours later they got him under arrest for all this with all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, you see that? They're such good manipulators.
Mm.
But there was a body expert that looked at him in that video behind when he was cracking his knuckles and all. They were like, that's all suspicious. The way he was acting was all nervous and suspicious before he was even arrested.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sorry if I came up like hot because it's
No,
like
I get it. I get it.
I've
You didn't
had
come up hot.
so much of watching all these cases in the last 2 weeks. I feel like my son said, get off of them. It's too much for your brain. I'm ready to like beat something up at this point. I'm so angry. I'm like, I'm so sick of hearing this crap. But why do I put myself through it? Because I do. I get concerned for the children. But like, what can you do? There's nothing I can do.
Mm.
But I'm trying to think of. For some reason, I think it said raindrop.org was the site that had all the statistics. And I don't know what you think about Nancy Grace, but sometimes to me, she's a little bit overboard. But she does have good guests on that are professionals. And she had somebody on last night, and they were talking about the statistics of this stuff and all that stuff to help parents. So I don't know. That's all
Well,
basically I came up
I'm a
with.
nosy parent. I got to know every red dot that's around me. I got to know the neighbors because my kids go outside even though they're not allowed to leave the yard, and they're not out there without me, except in the backyard because of their trampoline and stuff. But you can't get in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a nosy mom.
And you know what kills me? My children are 50 years old now. And I believed I was a really good parent. Like we had a very good communication about everything. Like I used to tell them, listen, I'd rather you tell me, I don't care if it's the worst thing in the world. You could tell me with anything. And I really thought I had a great relationship with them that, I'll even come to see you in the jail, but tell me anything, whatever it is. And 50 years later, they're telling me stupid stuff that they did. I mean, it's nothing really bad, but stupid stuff they did that I believed them. They didn't do it at the time. Stupid stuff, Nothing really bad, but I mean, it was like, so you lied to me back then? I was like, I talked to you about that. You told me you didn't do that. Like they figured out like how to, what the heck did they say? How to use the gym keys or something to get into the school. So they went in and were playing basketball. I mean, they grew up in the country. There wasn't much to do. So they got to school. They went into the school and were playing basketball when the school was closed. I'm like, and I asked you for, no, I wasn't there. Okay. You're talking about when they were maybe 15 or 16, but still.
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, I thought you were better than.
Bernie, you have a couple kids, right?
Yeah.
You would notice. I can tell just. I don't know you off of YouTube, but I can just tell by the way you conduct yourself. You're a hands-on mom.
Mm-hmm.
You would see the difference in behavior changes with your child.
Oh, absolutely.
Mine's only 8.5, but if there's something bothering her, I can tell because she'll hold things in. She didn't come from a good situation, but I've had her since she was 4, and she's mine forever. Now, but I can tell when there's something bothering her because she'll hold it in and then she'll just explode, But I can tell when there's something bothering her. This little girl. This wasn't a one-time thing. There had to be some kind of signs from the daughter that you can't chalk up to ADHD.
Right.
That's my only question. I feel for the mom, and I would love to just give her a hug because I didn't lose my child that way, but I lost my child. I know what it feels like to feel like you failed them.
Yeah,
There has to be a horrible feeling.
There is no words. There really is no words. I mean, that's like the worst thing ever that I can imagine a parent to go through that. No, it's unnatural. You're supposed to go first. I can't. I have a few friends that just lost their sons that grew up with my sons, and it's just, oh my God. I can't. Really can't. So.
Someone in chat said her mom did know, according to Maddie's friends, and did not believe her. Ouch.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing that can happen.
So
I hope that's not the case.
Sleuthy, I seen you ask your question. So there is a timeline. Sunday, February 25th, Madeline's birthday celebration. Monday, February 26th, 8:30 a.m. Driven to school by mom's boyfriend. 4:30, pick up Maddie from. So there is a whole timeline going on right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't watch Plunder, and I didn't get this deep into this one because after Cunningham and this Elijah boy, I had to just watch it from afar because I really couldn't do too much.
Well, this isn't Plunder. This is a news article, but right here it says the mother took the photo. So she was at the birthday party. She was so happy. Showed us all her gifts. She's just a happy girl. And then she showed it on Sunday when she went to bed. She was so happy. And the photo is, maybe it was provided by the mother.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't there. There wasn't a moment a day that her daughter was having conversations or her phone or laptop or making plans for Monday. So forgetting her phone sounds like it would have been unusual because right there it says she was always on her phone. So I don't know, but I don't see anything in here about the mother not making the party. But what I mean, it says the photo was provided by the mom.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Who did say that the mom didn't make it to the birthday party? Maybe you could clarify. Hey, cousin Trixie.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I didn't.
Here's the thing, though, Southern Gal. Children can still ride their bikes. They can still play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that has changed is our access to news media. These crimes aren't different. These crimes aren't new. The only thing that is different is our access to it. So
exactly,
I think that's part of. For me, that's what I see as part of the problem is people aren't letting their kids play. They're not letting their kids ride bikes. They're not letting their kids go, down the street to the park or to the friend's house. KDB, you wrote in a comment that you trust the phone more than you trust your neighbors but not all people are bad. And if we keep, reducing our children to our own parental fears because of what we, what we are given access to. We're part of the reason our children are becoming the way they are, which is antisocial and internet dependent. That's just my opinion on it. You don't
know
see
what?
kids out playing like they used to.
That is so true, because my neighbor, we've been friends for almost 18 years. She's also she's raising her grandson. Up until kindergarten, he socialized with no one outside. He never, hardly ever went out of the house. If he did, it was just in the backyard. He couldn't handle it. He totally couldn't handle it. And now he's back home being homeschooled because he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
He had no contact at all with anyone.
Well, that's the whole point of Head Start programs and daycares and stuff, is to get your children to socialize.
Acclimated, yeah.
It's crippling to our children. Like, look at how it affected children with COVID shutdown.
Oh.
I mean, kids weren't socially interacted like they do, and like they need after school activities. They need to be involved with like music, something, find things the kids like that they're socially interacting with other, like art, music. Find things that get the kids with other kids after school too. That's
Granny, did you see?
A lot of that stuff's so unaffordable anymore.
Yeah, it is. I pay a fortune a month for dance and stuff. It is. Extracurricular activities cost money, and a lot of parents don't have it. A lot of the schools dropped a lot of their programs because they don't have the budget for them anymore.
Yep.
That's a shame, because I know in New Jersey, my granddaughter she could have chose either music or art for one of her classes. She usually does arts, but this time she did music, and she picked up a viola, and that kid picked that up and started playing it right away. I was like, oh my God, she's very talented. But, that's something she has in her school and is provided at the school. But we do need more of that in the school.
I mean, they had the teachers send messages to all the parents about a week and a half ago that they need basketballs and soccer balls and jump ropes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The school should have budgets for stuff like that.
Sorry, Katie. Katie, I'm sorry. I wasn't saying you don't allow your kids to. I was using that as an example. I wasn't by any means I just used your comment as an example. I wasn't directing that towards you by any means at all. At all. Like, I hope you didn't take that as me being like, Katie, you don't allow your kids to. That's not what I meant by that at all.
Queen Bella, did you see her comment in the chat? It was about something about the party. The little girl came home all excited from her party. So maybe the mom wasn't there. I don't know.
Yeah, that the mom said during an interview she wasn't able to be at the party. She had to work.
Well, that happens though.
I agree with all that, but in my opinion, it's a different story when you're talking about you choosing a partner unrelated to your kids and you bring that person into your home around said child. I agree. I completely agree. That's why I think there's
Me and my husband both worked, but what we did is I was in the medical field, so I was a medic and a nurse, so I could work nights, whereas he worked days. So one of us, fortunately, it worked out where one of us was always home. But it's just not like that anymore,
Yeah. Jujube, you can actually sign your kids out of taking the standard testing. I don't put my kids through that pressure. I don't think it's worth it. My teachers constantly want us to give money for stuff for class. I know. I know the school asks for money weekly. It's unbelievable.
Yep. Every time I turn around. Yep.
They get a lot of funding. I mean, public schoolings get a lot of funding. If you're a children's father, don't contribute. I agree with that, Leo. Absolutely.
I think it's ridiculous with as high as taxes are that there's not money for that.
Well, I got my little YouTube check, so I spent over half of that on getting some basketballs and soccer balls and jump ropes and this other thing you put around your foot and you jump. I don't even know what it's called.
Skip it.
Yeah, that's it. I got like 5 soccer balls, 4 basketballs, 6 jump ropes, and 6 of those things. I did what I could. I was hoping other parents, but I don't know. I mean, it's YouTube money. You don't make a whole ton of money, you know.
Well,
mean,
for
I
me,
have-
Crimson Berries, I know they want name brand stuff. They want sanitary wipes, but they want it to be Lysol. They want you to get certain type of pencils.
Yep.
They want tissues, but they want it to be the name brand tissues. They want name brand paper towels. Right now, they're doing a bingo, and whichever homeroom class brings in the most gift cards or cash for the school bingo, which goes towards the 8th grade graduation, that classroom wins. Well, I don't think kids should be rewarded nor disciplined for what a parent can't contribute financially. I don't think there should be a win for it. I think that's ridiculous. They're
Yeah.
just it's always everything. Even school trips nowadays. My son had a school trip. It was to reward them for good behavior, for being honor roll. And if they want $54 for him to be able to go to the school trip. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's just always something. The pencils, they want you to get the most expensive pencils. It's just always
Oh,
something.
that list you're given at the beginning of the school year. Okay, my son was in VPK. He doesn't need none of that stuff. They don't use none of that stuff. But they
That's
want,
just crazy.
and then at the end of the year, your kids bring home all this stuff that they demanded you have at the beginning of the year that they didn't even use.
Yeah.
Well, I surely would want a rundown of their budget and every darn thing they spent their darn money on coming out of my taxpayer dollars. I don't
Yeah.
have kids in school no more.
I don't even think we're going to have teachers much longer. The way these students act towards teachers and everything, it's so out of control anymore.
Yeah.
You hear I just seen 3 articles in the past week of teachers being beat up by students.
Yeah. And sadly, it's starting in elementary school, the disrespect.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
my son needs that calculator. I told them I can't afford it. I said I can't afford it.
there is no reason for a $200 calculator. That's insane.
Wow, kill shot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what about the parents that don't have the money? That is a single parent
Mhm.
trying to raise her child.
Well, even if you're not a single parent, not everybody's making 3 figures, 4 figures a year and can afford it, you know?
Exactly.
Hell, they're lucky enough to buy groceries every week with what they cost.
And most
Yeah.
of your taxes go to school. What you
Yeah,
pay
that's what I'm
down
saying.
to.
Our schools get a lot of grants and everything, and your school taxes. I know my school taxes are very high, and I get that. I get not all parents are provide, and that's literally why they will ask you for extra things. But at the same
Mhm.
time, when you end up with a whole classroom, I mean, you don't. Beggars can't be choosers, right? I'm not going to buy you nicer paper towels than I buy for my own home.
Exactly. And I do that. I always send in, because I start every time I see stuff, on sale, that would, be school supplies and stuff, I'll pick them up. And I do that. I send in extra kits so the teachers don't have to, because the teachers will take it out of their pocket and do it. And let's face it, the teachers aren't exactly rolling in dough either.
Right.
know?
No, I agree. But I just still think it's things the school should be supplying.
Yeah.
Required
I-
mandatory $250 donation from each child. Wow. Yeah, it's absolutely sickening. The price of sports has rise so high.
Mhm.
Now, like I said, it's been a long time since I've had kids in
Oh,
school,
that
but
hawk is really
I
losing.
went to the Board of Education meetings. Do they have that still?
Yeah, they still have boards of education meetings and all.
So, like, are the parents going there to find out like what they're spending the money on the budget?
I'm sure somebody is. They do. I mean, they post all of it. You can get the minutes from the
Mhm.
meeting and all that. I'm not personally that involved in it.
But like, they have a lot of parents coming and trying to be like, what, hold them accountable? What are they spending my taxpayer dollars on? I know, like, at the end of the year, like, they have to make sure that all that money's spent. I heard, but that was back then. I don't know how it is now. They didn't roll it over. And I went there, and like, after the budget and all, they're telling how they need more of this and more of that. Meanwhile, in the dumpster behind the school, I'm seeing all these things were thrown in a dumpster.
Mhm.
Yeah.
that
My
they're saying
neighbor's a
to do it.
teacher, and what she spends out of her salary just to provide supplies for her classroom and for students who just don't have is insane. She shouldn't have to do that. They don't make enough money as it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful
I'm
for my
having-
kids' teachers. My kids got some good teachers, and I'm thankful for them and their bus driver.
Yeah, Cranston Barry, I'm having that issue right now with my son where this other kid keeps stealing his lunch from him. I
Mm,
even tried packing extra snacks so the kid could, have one. But yeah, it's hard. Yeah, absolutely. God bless our teachers. They're going through hard times, especially nowadays. I mean, first off, most kids have addiction to social media, and you have these
Mhm.
kids in school, and you're telling them for 8 hours that they're in school, they can't have their phone. It's like telling any other addict. And then as soon as they leave school, they're allowed to have their phone, right? So it's like telling any other addict, you have to go 8 hours without your addiction. And then here's your addiction again. Times are just different. Teachers,
Mhm.
you see it all the time. Most of the arguments are over kids being on their phones now. And
And
then
one
you
of
have
the
parents
kids,
that argue they should have their phones in school in case
Mhm.
something happens. So there's like no,
one
Yeah,
of the
but
kids in 4th grade, he's already been suspended 5 times this year, twice for assaulting the teacher.
oh my
Why
God.
was he not removed? You cannot. I'm sorry, I get he's a kid, but he's old enough to know right from wrong and to know you
well,
just don't do that. And
that's because
he
they have that no parent, no child left behind rule.
yeah. Well, these kids are raising themselves, even though there's parents, they're just not
There's
very
just no
active.
respect for authority anymore, is what it comes down to.
My kids know about. See, I draw that into their heads. That's one thing I won't.
Speaking of kids with their social media, apparently Fortnite is having a big event that is starting shortly, and Michael Myers Jr. is behind me, reminding me of this. So I do have to get off. I have to get off his computer so he can do his Fortnite event. I'm like looking behind him. He's like pointing towards like the clock, like here,
Yeah, you gotta take that into account for sure.
Yeah,
You always
and
have good conversation, though. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
No,
thanks
I
for letting
appreciate
me
it.
up, Granny.
Of course, I'm gonna. I didn't even plan on this being a topic today. I just figured I'd go live and spend a rainy Saturday morning with all of
I
you.
sure do.
But look, my good luck, buddy. Right? I mean, he's giving me the best look right now. But I will be live later on. I'll go ahead and set up the thumbnail now. I'm sorry to cut the conversation short.
Yeah, I'm gonna go later too.
That's what he said, Joe Madre. It's exactly what he said.
All right, well, I'm gonna hop down. Thank you so much, Jess. Appreciate
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Thank
you,
you,
Jess, because
Robin.
I could talk your ear off. So just throw me off. That's fine.
Oh no, it's always a pleasure. Seriously, I
No,
enjoy
I'm
having
serious because
conversations.
I don't go up that much, but just throw me off because I can go on and on and on. Really, if you got something to do it, please. But thank you
Yeah.
very much.
I unfortunately steal his computer to do this. So.
Oh boy, yeah, go with that. He got to have mommy time now.
No, he just wants to get on his gaming system, which is fine. Like they do these events, they do these live concerts and all this, and today's supposed to be really cool. It's going to be Thor from Marvel or whatever.
Okay.
So the kid doesn't ask me for much, and no, wait, what?
Hi, Queen OG.
What's his name again? It's not Thor. It's the guy that has all the gems on his big hand, the one that tried to fight them all. I don't know. I can't think of it.
Don't ask me. I'm out of the loop with all this stuff, but
He's laughing at me. Every minute it goes by, he thinks he's getting Robux or V-Bucks. So let me go ahead and get off of here because it's getting so
have a
long
good
today.
one.
Thank you.
Have
If you haven't,
fun.
please hit the thumbs up. And I do sincerely apologize for ending this abruptly, but we'll pick it up later, and I hope you guys all come back for that. Thank you,
Okay.
Robin. Thank
You're
you, chat.
welcome. Thank you.
Everybody have a good day. And
Good evening, everybody.
yeah, see you all later tonight. Thank you for understanding, everybody.